Good morning. What is up? We are here at the Blue Star Gym. And as I mentioned last night, today is deadlift day. So today we've got deadlifts. Last week, I believe I hit I think it was 210 kilos. It was like 462 pounds for 4 sets of 5, I'm pretty sure. And it felt really good. So today we're gonna see what we can get up to. I might try 215 kilos, which would be, I don't know, but I'll get into it, start to warm up, and then we'll kind of decide from there. So let's go. All right guys, so starting the warm up, I figured I'd show you guys what I kind of do for that. Because in the Blue Star Gym here, there's not any traditional like cardio equipment. There's no ellipticals, there's no treadmill, there's no exercise bike, anything like that. So what I usually do is basically just warm up with the bands. So I did 2 sets of each of horizontal external rotations. So grabbing the band, attaching it to something, and rotating all the way outwards. And this is to work the back of the shoulder, just to kind of warm up that. And then, horizontal and then vertical external rotations as well. So again, just to kind of warm up those shoulders, get the shoulders warmed up and the upper back a little bit. And then what I always like to do is hop on the hip abductor here. I'll do about 2 sets, 2 to 3 sets of about 20 reps. And you know, decent weight, but just to really fire up the side glutes. And I find that really helps me kind of activate the glutes when I'm doing the actual deadlift. And what I've been doing recently as well, which I find really helps kind of transfer over into the deadlift movement, is I grab one of these bands a little bit thicker than the micro bands I usually use, and I do good mornings with them. So I basically do a superset with the hip abductor and banded good mornings. So I'm just gonna show you that so you guys have an idea of how you can warm up, even if all you have is basically a band. You could do this whole warm up with the band. You can actually, you know, even wrap this around your legs and then, you know, move them out and do your hip abductions with the band itself rather than using the machine. But I figured since I have the machine here and it's what I'm actually doing today, I would show you guys that, and then we'll get into the deadlifts. So hopefully you guys can see this here. I'll try and get a good angle for you. All right, so starting out with a set of about 20 hip abductions. It's at 250 pounds. I don't know who the hell was doing that. So I like going somewhere around 120 pounds. Starting out, hip abductions. With this, you just want to drive through your knees, squeezing your side glutes, and drive the weight outwards. So, like I said, this is going to really get some activation in the medial glutes here and the sides, and it's going to help to get better glute activation when you actually do the deadlifts, which is very important because it's going to take some of the stress away from your low back and, you know, use the glutes, which are a much more powerful muscle. I like to actually sit forward a little bit and keep my back off of the pad, at least for one of the sets, just because I find I get better activation in the glutes that way. I don't transfer it into my legs. It's just pretty much entirely my glutes doing the work of spreading my hips apart. So, did one set of those, and then I just grabbed the band and I'm gonna superset it with this good morning. So all you do for this, let's see. All you do for this, you take the band, you're gonna step on it here about shoulder width apart, and then you're going to wrap this part around the back of your neck, and you're going to bend over so that your back's basically perpendicular with the floor, and then you're going to contract the glutes and contract your lower back as well to extend yourself back up. And this is gonna help to warm up both, your whole posterior chain, your glutes, your hamstrings, and your low back. And that's exactly what you're going to be using in the deadlift. So I find just getting this kind of pre-activation really helps make sure everything's firing properly before I get into the movement. And it's just a really, really good warm up for the deadlift specifically. All right. So that's one set. I'm going to go through all of that one more time, and then we're gonna get right into the deadlift. So I will see you then. Bye. We've got my final warm-up set now. I'm doing, I did one set with one plate aside, but 25 kilo plates, so they're 55 pounds each. So it was 155, did a set of 10, and then a set of 8 at 2 plates aside, which ended up being 265. And then I'm doing my final warm-up set here, which is gonna be 375. So 3 plates, 3 25 kilo plates aside. And then we are going to go for 215 kilos, which works out to just under 474 pounds. I'm gonna see if I can get 5 at that, and then we'll see how things go. And one other thing, because I'm using this Texas deadlift bar, the knurling on it, like the grip, is super, super, super rough. And so every time I use it, I rip my hands to pieces. And I have literally had like little kind of, it's not gonna focus, but basically like a paper cut just from my skin being dry and then cracking. And I have that on my thumb and on this finger. And so literally every single week for the past 2 months when I deadlift, they rip back open. So I'm trying to bandage them up beforehand. Hopefully it'll keep them together, but it's kind of unavoidable unless I take some time off of deadlifting, but probably not going to do that before we leave for the trip. So I'm gonna do my last warm-up set now, and we'll see how the working sets go. Booyah! Alright. Now, while I put on music, another pro tip, when you're doing deadlifts, you want your feet to be as flat as possible and as close to the ground as possible, because any sort of raised heel, that's just increasing the distance that you have to lift the weight up. So if you can be flat-footed, bare feet, socks, whatever, or get some really minimalist shoes like Chucks, that is going to be the best thing to deadlift in. You're gonna be the closest to the ground. You want a really flat sole, so it's just even weight distribution. You can really drive through the heels. And so that's why you'll see, as soon as I get up to, closer to my working weight, I always take my shoes off and just lift in socks. Feel a lot better with that, a lot more powerful, and you don't lose force through the cushioning in your shoes. So more force generated into the movement to lift the weight, and less lost through cushioning in your shoes. So do not deadlift in soft, squishy shoes, or like running shoes, or anything with a raised heel, because it's just gonna make your lift more difficult, and you're gonna waste a lot of excess energy that you could otherwise be putting into the lift. So, time for some music. Kill switch, engage. All right, come on, warm up. Go for a set of 5 to 6. Rather than just 5, I'm gonna tire myself out. My final warm-up set there, that was about 375 pounds. And what is it, 150, 170 kilos, I think. 20 plus 75, 150, 170, yeah. So 170 kilos, about 375 pounds, felt really good, did 5. I didn't want to push it too much. You don't want to exhaust yourself during your warm-up, but you do want to make sure you are getting your body kind of fully engaged and, you know, activating those muscles and getting them, the CNS prepared for those heavier loads. So we are going to take a couple minutes to rest, probably, you know, 2-3 minutes, and then we're gonna jump into the first set, 215 kilos, and we're gonna see how it goes. It's gonna be the heaviest I have lifted in quite some time, especially for this volume. It'll be the highest volume I've ever done at this weight. So yeah, hopefully it goes well. See you soon. All right, a few minutes of rest are up. We've got, as you can see, 1, 2, 3 25-pound or 25 kilo plates, a 20 kilo plate, and a little 2.5er. So grand total with the 20 kilo bar is 215 kilos or 474 pounds. We're gonna chalk up, we're gonna get the music going, and we're gonna lift some heavy ass weight. So I wanna get a good setup for this. So bear with me. Oh God. Oh God. All right. Can you see? Can you see? Can you see? Can you see? Can you see me now? Okay. Fuck. What's going on here? Lighting, no bueno. Lighting, bueno. It's the only issue with this setup here is the windows and the doors that are right behind this deadlift platform. So the lighting is an issue. Hopefully it'll stay in focus. Almost guaranteeing it won't. I really don't want to move that weight over, but I might have to. It's gonna throw some things off. All right, I want to make sure we get a good shot here, so I'm going to have to strip all of that weight off. You can see it's some heavy ass weight. Look at how much that bar is bending. Okay, so I want to make sure I get a good shot for you guys, get some sick angles. Shout out Max Tuning. But I'm gonna have to move that mofo over here, and hopefully the lighting will be better because the windows are over that direction. And yeah, so gonna move the stuff over here and we will be back. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. Okay, bye. We are back, finally. That took a good 5 minutes just to get the weight from over there to over here. And the one thing that I didn't really think about, and now I'm realizing was probably stupid to set it up over here, with this decal, this stuff is like a laminate sort of thing, like a vinyl wrap, and it is super slippery. So I'm going to have to try to stand right at the back, kind of like that back strip. Where is this? The back strip of the mats along here. and hopefully my feet in my socks don't slip. And I can't wear my shoes that I have here for these because they're my Adidas Ultra Boosts. So they're a completely like mesh shoe, and they're expensive, and I don't want to rip through the sides of them. So I'm gonna do this in socks, and hopefully I don't slip and die. So we will see how this weight goes. I was really thrown off by having to, you know, move the weight and that sort of thing. I feel like I'm not very warmed up anymore, and just kind of mentally a little bit out of it, but we're gonna throw the music on, we're gonna get back into it, and we're gonna lift this mother effing weight. Let's go, boy. All right, song of choice for this is going to be Run Rabbit Run, Eminem, the greatest of all time. Gonna get chalked up, get my head in the zone, and we're gonna lift this shit. All right. Here we go. Fuck. Son of a bee. All right. So it literally took, you know, probably 10 minutes between having, you know, being warmed up, having the weight and everything set up over here, and then moving all the shit over, and, you know, trying to get psyched back up and all of that. And I mean, with that, I got to, I probably could have grinded out the like 4 or 5 there, but the risk of injuring myself would have been substantial. Core is still bugging me from yesterday. I had that issue, like I did legs last night, had the issue with my abs, but yeah, super frustrating. I feel I would have been able to get it if I didn't have, sorry, there's something on the lens. I feel like I would have been able to get it if I didn't have that huge gap in between. But I mean, it's gonna happen. You're not gonna be, you know, setting new records, always progressing, you know, 5 to 10 pounds or 5 kilos every single week. So that's, you know, that's perfectly normal. What I'm going to do instead, because this took so long and I kind of cooled down and all of that, I'm just gonna drop the weight. I'm going to put it back to, you know, 375 pounds, which I think is 170 kilos, somewhere around there. And I'm just gonna rep out, you know, sets of 8 at that, and that'll be it for deadlifts. And then I will screenshot the rest of the workout, kind of running out of time, so I don't want to, you know, waste a whole bunch of time trying to get the camera set up and all this stuff and have a worse workout. Unfortunately, you know, it's difficult when it's just me here trying to record my own workouts. It does take time to set the camera up and, you know, get an angle where you can see and the lighting's good and all that sort of stuff. So I'll show you these deadlifts, and then I'll just throw a screenshot on the screen with the rest of the workout. Or if you don't have the wedding shredding program, just click the link that's in the description below, free program. You can go to my website, download it, and yeah. So we're going to finish up these deadlifts, and we're going to get at it and finish the rest of the workout. So I will talk to you guys again soon. Peace for now.